Hi there, Freeland Middle School. Mrs. Wolf here. I am just here to talk to you a little bit about remote learning expectations and how we're going to roll into this next week. I know many of you are probably anxious and just wondering some of the expectations that we have as we get going here on Monday. So right now we are set to be in remote learning until December 8th. Obviously this could change, but we hope we can get you back in the building on December 9th once things settle a little bit with our staffing needs. More to come on that. We're meeting as a team after school on Friday, December 4th to try and make some decisions for the future for K-8 specifically. So in the meantime, I'm going to go over a couple expectations with you in terms of attendance, behavior, academics, even just some parent and guardian expectations, as well as my role as a principal during remote learning and our counseling services during remote learning. So attendance. Attendance is actually the law. So you are required to log into your classes every day, every hour, even in a remote learning environment. If you do not, we will have to follow our truancy policies. So something I noticed as I was talking to many of our 7th graders on Friday was that many of you don't even know what the word truancy means. So truancy is when you are not attending school regularly, and we have to get the court system involved to be able to make sure you attend school. So typically our students do not have to have the courts involved in this, and we're able to do what we call school-based interventions to ensure that you're attending school. But there are times in which we have to get the courts involved. So how this works in Freeland is if you're not attending classes, you're going to receive a letter outlining our truancy policy that's found in our handbook, which pretty much says you have to attend school. It's the law. If you continue to not attend school, whether it's remote or in person, you'll get a second letter sent saying, hey, we're going to start some attendance interventions here at school because you continue to not attend. If you continue not attending, that's when I have to get a truancy officer involved through Saginaw County, and that's when you'll actually have to deal with the court system, not the school system when it comes to attending school. So I just want to make sure we're clear on this and that you all understand as 7th and 8th grade students that I am pursuing sending truancy letters home during this remote learning environment for students who do not attend classes every day, every hour. One of the things that I know might come up is if you're too sick to be able to attend class. If you need to have a sick day, that's fine. Your family should just call that in like they would normally. So if you cannot attend a Zoom session because you have a doctor's appointment or you're sick or something else, then you need to have your parent call that in so we can make it a parent verified absence. Otherwise, those absences will go in as unexcused into Skyward, and that's when we run into trouble with attendance. Some behavioral expectations for you. I just want to go over some Zoom etiquette. We have already piloted this a bit with the high school. So I've talked to the high school principal, and we are learning a lot as principals on what we need to expect from you. So I'm going over some Zoom expectations based on that conversation that I had had with the high school principal. So the first thing is, let's make sure our screens are on. When we're talking about attending to the class, we don't know if you're attending unless your screen is on, because it is very easy for you to turn a screen on, turn your Zoom on, shut the screen off so that we can't see it, your face. And then you can go and like game for the entire hour instead of actually attending to the class. So we need you to have that screen on. So just find a space in your house that you're comfortable using your screen, and we want to see your face. Another thing is with your face, a lot of our students are trying to do this type of stuff, where that's the way that they're running the Zoom session, and that's just not going to work. So we need to see your face so that you can be an active participant in our Zoom sessions, just like you would if you were in school. Also, we want appropriate clothing. Totally understand that you might want to be in sweats during this time. I do it too. So when I'm on remote learning, I definitely don't dress in like nice sweaters as much like this. So if you want to wear sweats, that's okay. The issue we're having is some of our kids are getting more comfortable because it's their own house. So they're wearing things that might have like foul language or swear words or inappropriate puns or something illegal on their shirts. And we need to make sure we're avoiding that. I just can't have any of that, or that will be a dress code referral to the office. Only appropriate chats in the chat box. A few of our kids are getting a little too comfortable in the chat box and are either having conversations with their friends or not being very kind to our teachers and being maybe disrespectful to the teachers in the chat boxes. And this has got to stop. So In the middle school, I expect you to, once we get started with these chats, to be professional, to be focused on academics. These chat boxes are an instructional tool, not a tool for you to say whatever you want. So it's not like social media where you can just go out there and say what you want. This chat box in Zoom is to be used for instruction only. Also, when you come into your Zoom, please mute when you are not talking. It is extremely distracting and disruptive if you do not mute your Zoom. So if you have a dog or cat that starts to like make lots of noise and your Zoom is not muted, then we can hear all of that as learners, and it becomes very hard to continue learning if we keep hearing your background noise. Try not to interrupt others as they are talking. This is the most awkward part about Zoom. If you have to say something, it's really hard to like interject because only one person can talk at a time. So just give yourself a minute there, raise your hand, or there's actually an icon where you can like raise your hand and your teacher can call on you instead of interjecting and interrupting one another. And finally, participate fully in all activities, whether it's a poll, a breakout room, direct instruction, collaborative Google Docs. If you were in school, we would be expecting you to participate. And now that we're on remote learning, it's exactly the same. You need to be participating fully in every activity that your teacher is asking you to do. Academic expectations are pretty simple. Complete all work on time, each day, each hour. Come to class prepared and communicate with your teachers if you have questions. Email is always best for this. You may have some teachers who are going to use GoGuardian as well, and that's fine. So if you have teachers who are using GoGuardian and you want to communicate with them that way, totally fine. We understand you might have some technical issues. You may not be able to complete things on time, but you have to tell us. If we are not getting emails from you about what's going on at home, we are just going to assume you are not following your academic expectations, and you're going to get docked points or going to like back to the attendance piece, have some attendance issues with us. So please just communicate with us often, and we will help you out with any questions that you have. Parent and guardian expectations. So this is actually for your families. So if your parent or guardians are sitting near you or around you, they need to listen in at this point. So please pause this right now and go get them, or make sure you show this to them later. So our parent and guardian expectations are this. We really need to make sure we're providing students a productive space to work that is as distraction-free as possible. It is very challenging for our students to work in a remote learning environment. I think we all experienced this in the spring. So I have a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, and it was very, very difficult to get them to have a productive learning space because of what we were thrown into. So prior to Monday, please designate a space that avoids more social spaces in the home, things like kitchen tables, living rooms, etc., where there's a lot of flow of traffic, a lot of people in and out. If they're alone during the day and that's a good workspace for them, that's awesome. But if there's going to be a lot of movement and social time in those spaces, those are probably not great spaces for our middle school students to learn. Middle schoolers in general tend to be pretty distractible, and so we need to make sure they have a space that's a little bit less social. Another thing with home-based learning is just to get students away from access to non-school related technology. Our kids just developmentally cannot say no if there's a cell phone and a TV and a gaming console all around them while they're supposed to be working on schoolwork. So please provide them a workspace that is just as distraction-free as possible when it comes to technology. Also provide students a workspace that can use both their Chromebook and printed materials at the same time. So I don't have like a formal desk. Well, I do now with everything that went on with COVID. But prior to this, I didn't have one. And so I got like a lap desk that I could use. So I have a lap desk with my Chromebook and with my printed materials that I can use all at the same time. That works really well for me. So this doesn't necessarily have to be like a formal desk. But we definitely need a space where printed materials can be used at the same time as Chromebooks. And then respect live Zoom sessions taking place. Our teachers are going to be on live with students, and that's a new teaching environment for us as well, and it's definitely challenging. And so just making sure to respect that space, respect the student during that learning environment, and refraining from conversations with your child during these Zoom sessions if at all possible. We know things may come up, but the more distractions our kids have, the harder it's going to be for them to access what we're trying to get them to access during remote learning. So thank you, parents and guardians, for this. We really appreciate it. We're trying to make it so our middle school students are as independent as possible, because we know that many of you still have to do your jobs or parent other children. And so we think we're prepping our middle schoolers to be independent, but certainly let us know if you have questions. My role in the next week or longer, if we have to be out for longer, is during remote learning, the office will be used for disciplinary concerns, counseling supports, printing paper copies for individual requests for this, handling Chromebook issues and concerns, and communicating next steps with our remote learning in-person learning plan. Thank you for your patience with communication. I will continue to communicate as often as possible with updates that we have when we have them. I will continue handling discipline. I will be pushing out information about counseling, as well as Mr. Dooley, who will be pushing some things out with this. And then if you ever need paper copies or Chromebook repairs or anything, just call the office at 989-692-4032, and we will help you with this. So that's all I have for you right now. Just thank you so much for chiming into this quick screencast and listening to these expectations. I know we're going to be successful with this. I know our students are prepared, our teachers are prepared. We want to make this learning environment pretty seamless, and I think we're ready to go. So if you have questions, let us know. You can always reach me at wolfr@freelandschools.net, or you can call at 989-692-4032. We are here during normal school hours, Monday through Friday. After today, the middle school office will be closed for the rest of the week, but then we will be back Monday. However, I'm going to check my email over the weekend if you need anything. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I know it's a little different, and many of you are probably just staying home with your household, but I hope you all have a wonderful holiday, and I will see everybody remotely on Monday. Thank you.